right. Okay, so we're back. We finished the Joyce, Ulysses, and so we're kind of, you know, I thought I'd like take a week off or something, but I went to a reading last night in downtown LA, and so I'm kind of excited about readings and books and everything. So I got a couple. I'll probably do one Lispector, and then I'll go to some other things. But I got Clarice Lispector, Passion According to GH, the premier Latin American women prose writer. She's been compared to Kafka, to Samuel Beckett, Borges. She's like her own thing. I mean, she's definitely. I mean, I don't know. I think I read this book. I didn't even understand what was going on. I mean, you have to realize she wrote a lot of these books in the 50s and 60s. Okay, so the Passion According to GH, like I guess it's written in Brazilian. I paixão, segundo, GH. I don't know. I'm just making it up. I don't know. Somebody tell me how to give me the Brazilian. Is a mystical novel by Brazilian writer Clarice Lispector, published in 1964, the year I was born. The work takes the form of a monologue of a woman identified only as GH, telling of the crisis that ensued the previous day after she crushed a cockroach in the door of a wardrobe. Its canonical status was recognized in 88. Its inclusion in the Arquivos Collection, the series of critical editions of the greatest works of Latin American literature. It has been translated into English twice, the first time in 88 by Ronald W. Sousa, and then by Idra Novey. And this is the Idra Novey 2012 one. So, Clarice Lispector. Okay, so like her main books, we'll probably get into Aquaviva in a couple weeks, but a lot of people read this. She has like collected stories. She has, which is a big book. I was looking at that, but I kind of wanted to read some thin books the next couple weeks, some short. So there's Apple in the Dark, which I think I'm gonna read. I read her biography too, and the Passion of GH that came out in '64. And Aquaviva 71, Streamline. She died in 77, so she was alive not too long ago. So, and she translated Agatha Christie, Oscar Wilde, and Edgar Allan Poe, so she made some money. So yeah, so her main books. Yeah, the Besieged City is supposed to be good too. Or to the Wild Heart is her earliest book. She didn't really write that many books. I mean, you think books, like 200 pages like this, she would come out with one every couple years. I mean, she's sometimes like she wrote nothing during the 50s. She wrote 3 books in the 40s. Apple in the Dark 61. GH came out in 64. The Book of Pleasures, 68. Aquaviva. A lot of people like Aquaviva, and I'll do that one next. And that's 73. The Hour of the Star, Breath of Life. But I don't know. She might have peaked out at Apple in the. She might have peaked, like the 60s might be her time, and Aquaviva is kind of like a late Beckett or something, But she has like stories. Complete Stories was done like after she died, so she wrote a lot of short stories collection, so that's why she has so many stories. And children literature, she's a journalist. So so how are we doing on time? 4 minutes. Okay, so let me read the very opening of the book. I read, you read like the first 20 pages, you don't even know what's going on here, like what's happening, but you're kind of in the mind of the main character. She's a well-to-do Rio sculptress. She enters a maid's room and she sees a cockroach crawling out of the wardrobe and panics and slams the door on it. Okay, that's what we know, what happens in the book. Yeah, I got my goofy glasses on. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so the passion according to GH. I'm searching. I'm searching. I'm trying to understand, trying to give what I live to somebody else, and I don't know to whom. But I don't want to keep what I lived. I don't know what to do with what I lived. I'm afraid of that profound disorder. I don't trust what's happened to me. Did something happen to me that I, because I didn't know how to live it, lived it as something else? That's what I like to call disorganization, and I have the confidence to venture on because I would know where to return afterward to the previous organization. I rather call it disorganization because I don't want to confirm myself in what I've lived in the confirmation of me. I would lose the world as I had it, and I know I don't have the fortitude for another. If I confirm myself and consider myself untruthful, I'd be lost because I don't know where to inlay my new way of being. If I go ahead with my fragmentary visions, the whole world will have to understand in order for me to fit within it. I lost something that was essential to me and that no longer is. I no longer needed it, as if I lost a third leg that up until then made it impossible for me to walk, but that turned me into a stable tripod. I lost that third leg and went back to being a person I never was. I went back to having something I never had, just two legs. I know I can only walk with two legs, but I feel the useless absence of that third leg and it scares me. It was the leg that made me something findable by myself and without even having to look for myself. Am I disorganized because I lost something I didn't need? In this new cowardice of mine, cowardice is the newest thing to happen to me. It's my greatest adventure. This cowardice of mine is a is a field so wide that only the great courage leads me to accept it in my new cowardice, which is like waking one morning in a foreigner's house. I don't know if I'll have the courage just to go. It's hard to get lost. It's hard that I probably quickly figure out some new way to find myself, even if finding myself is once again my vital lie. Until now, finding myself was already having an idea of a person and fitting myself into it. I'd incarnate myself into this organized person, and I didn't feel the great effort of construction of that is living. The idea I had of what a person is came from my third leg, the one that pinned me to the ground. But and now will I be freer? No, I know I'm still not feeling freely. That once again I'm thinking because I have the objective of finding and the safeties say and for safety's sake I'll call finding the moment I discover a way out. Why don't I have the courage just to discover a way in? Oh, I know I went in. Oh yes, but I got scared because I don't know what the entrance opens onto, and I never let myself be carried off unless I knew where to. Yesterday, however, I lost my human setup for hours and hours. If I had the courage, I'd let myself stay lost, but I'm afraid of newness and afraid of living whatever I don't understand. I always want to be sure to at least think I understand. I don't know how to give myself over to disorientation. How can I explain that my greatest fear is precisely of being? And yet there is no other way. How can I explain that my greatest fear is living, whatever comes? How to explain that I can't stand seeing just because life isn't what I thought, but something else, as if I knew what? Why is seeing such disorganization? Okay, so he kind of goes on like that for a couple pages. And, but what actually happens in this book, what's hey, what? Hey, there you are. What's going on? Okay, well, let me just talk about. Are we gonna do this? Is Molly Bloom still likely gonna happen? Okay, so let me go to this page. Uh, Like it often happens, the complete realization of something comes the next day. Being utterly aware of what to expect, GH enters the room where her maid used to live until she quit. To her sure surprise, she finds the room immaculate, bare, and absolutely empty, as if a maid never lived there. However, it doesn't take the woman too much time to find evidence of the other woman's existence. There's a bizarre painting on the wall. Somehow, all these things, the empty room, a picture makes sense. GH sees something that she's never noticed before, and that is the fact that her maid hates her. Normally, people don't take it lightly, neither does the protagonist. She is confused and torn between anger and self pity, for she simply fails to understand the reason of it. No matter how much the black picture confuses her, the woman gets distracted when she notices a wardrobe, the empty room, the sketch, and now this mysterious dresser evokes something strange in her soul. She is on the verge of a nervous breakdown and knee deep in life crisis. Timidly, as she is afraid of something she might find there, the woman approaches the wardrobe to find it. She needs courage and the strength that suddenly decides to betray her. When she finally does it, the woman finds a cockroach that tries to escape from the consequences of sudden intrusion. GH proves to be quicker, so the insect gets washed by the door. She sees it humid and glistening inside, and she can't take her eyes away from the disgusting sight. She is both repulsed and intrigued. Well, if you ever seen a cockroach, like, and you squash it, and a bunch of white stuff comes out, that's not its guts. That's like fat. Like I read a whole there's a book about cockroaches. I forgot who the writer is, Mary something, but there's a whole book about cockroaches and how they live. And cockroaches only live for like 6 months, and female cockroaches are pretty much pregnant their whole lives. But when you squash a cockroach and the white stuff comes out, that's fat, because a cockroach, like their whole life, they're trying to store protein and fat. So when you see a little cockroach, it's like that's a baby cockroach, and then there's the ones that have all they keep on eating and stuff. Okay, so back to the book. A desire to taste ooze goes stronger and stronger every passing minute with GH. She does understand it's a rather unwise thing to do, and she behaves unreasonably, but she can't help thinking about it. This is a moment where a crisis reaches its peak, and the woman succumbs to the strong intent to step over the boundary. Ooze is in her mouth now. She is no longer the person she used to be, for now she knows something that the rest of us mortals fail to understand. She is part of the universe. Okay, so yeah, this is like a crazy book, but even if you look at, I mean, it's almost like a philosophical text. It's kind of like this. She's kind of like asking all these questions. She's like totally uh, uh, like she's like in doubt of reality and stuff, and she's like this is missing person. The maid's gone, um, and she's like this. She's this well-to-do person. She's probably doesn't have anything to do with it, like with cleaning up and all that stuff. Like people say, like she's the one of the 20th century most mysterious writers. And she's in the same league as Flann O'Brien, Borges, and Pessoa. So that's like some heavy words there. So let's keep this short. I don't want to. This is a book. I suggest if people, The Passion According to GH. This is a book you should read. I'm going to read in the next week. I'm going to read a lot of short books. So this is like one of them. So that's all. Is there any questions for this person here? If there isn't, well, let's talk, and we might get some Molly Boom soliloquy finally. Okay, great. Okay, take care, everybody. See you on the next one.